The heroin addiction continues to grow, and there has been numerous conversations, not just in the city, but across the country as to how to solve the problem. This morning, Sandi Kuehn, the CEO of Center for Addiction Treatment, the longest-standing addiction treatment facility in the Cincinnati area, joining us today to talk about ways to combat this issue. We've done a lot of talking. Now we're starting to see some action. One of my big questions, a lot of people think that the addiction starts through pain medication. And the question is, have we seen a slow in the number of pain meds that doctors, dentists are prescribing?
We certainly have. I think credit has to go to the medical community that they've taken this on as their own issue. There's been a lot of talk within the medical community about decreasing the number of opiates that they prescribe for any one condition.
But why then still the uptick in heroin if they're not necessarily related, or are they not related anymore, correlating?
We're not really sure. What we do know is that there is the uptick in heroin, but then also the synthetic opiates, the fentanyl, the carfentanil, that are really causing the mass destruction at this point in time.
So treatment is, you tell me, the one thing that actually does work, but it's not something that happens overnight.
It does not.
A world where we want to see it happen quickly, this is not the case. How long does it take?
It'll depend on the person, but this is a brain disease, so your brain has to heal and has to get back to some level of normal. And when we look at PET scans of persons who have been addicted and then are in recovery, it's about a 2-year process before those dopamine receptors really start to get back to a normal place.
So about 2 years. So what does treatment look like for 2 years? I mean, obviously you're not in some sort of inpatient facility, or are you?
No, not typically. It really starts with the entry into treatment, and that can be at different levels, including inpatient and outpatient. It's the long-term, that longer-term touch points that you have with that prior patient. It's going to the meetings, the 12-step meetings. It's being connected to the community. With opiate addiction, a lot of it is medication-assisted treatment that really helps get to that 2 or 3 year point where you're really starting to be your old self again. So it depends on the level of care that you're really in.
Well, level of care is crucial. Another thing in getting that level of care is money. So the big question now is for people out there who are thinking they want to get their family member some help, and they're looking at a financial situation that may seem like they can't overcome it. What do you do? Are there options out there for these people?
There's several options, not all of them great, but every county in Ohio has a mental health and recovery board. They have some resources that they are using to supply operating dollars to not-for-profits. So they can start there with their county board to see what services are available in their counties. Some insurances will pay for inpatient and particularly outpatient services. Medicaid will pay for some services. The out-of-pockets are going to depend on whether it's a for-profit or a not-for-profit that you're asking. For instance, at CAT, for 35 days of treatment, which includes detox as well as our residential program, it's about $7,000. A like agency that is a for-profit could be anywhere from $35,000 to $40,000 for that same period of time.
That's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
And so what do you want people to know who perhaps are watching today, they have a family member they're worried about? What's the biggest thing that you want to tell people before they take that step and saying, hey, let's get you some help?
Well, the biggest thing that they need treatment. They obviously need treatment, but they also need to know that treatment works. People do get well, regardless of all of the harsh things that we hear. The people do get well. We have thousands of people in Greater Cincinnati who have come through CAT over our 46-year history, and they're doing wonderfully. So you have to take hope in that people do recover, but obviously they have to be alive to do that. So that's why all of the harm reduction things like the Narcan that's really widespread within the community is so crucial. You have to be alive if you're going to get into recovery.
Ms. Kuehn, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hope this morning on that subject is very important. We appreciate it.
Thank you.